tackle all of them. So I'll run through them quite quickly. Road safety. We know there's a lorry watch at the moment looking at the lorries coming through, and there have been 654 that have come through recently, and some of those will be hopefully going to court because they're second culprits, if you like. You know, as much as we do, that there's a tremendous flow of traffic through the town, particularly at the morning rush hour and the evening rush hour. In between, it's not quite so bad. There were suggestions that could be improved. There's a historic core zone initiative going on. There are some controversies in that, particularly with regard to zebra crossings, and that will need a little bit more discussion. One of the suggestions from the police actually was that the footpath going up Margaret Street could be taken away to widen the yellow boxes, and that those were improved to really flag up more strongly that people should observe those yellow boxes and be aware of the importance of them in the flow of traffic. A one-way system was thrown on the table again. That's very controversial because it solves some problems but creates others, and that is an ongoing issue. We look very closely at criminal damage, and criminal damage with relation to car theft, because that seems to be the major one. Looking at how we could solve that. Possibly a leaflet drop to people to make sure, lock it, to be able to keep it. Lock it or lose it campaign. And that could be the same for housing. Lock it or lose it. The incidence of burglaries in Bradford and Avon is fairly low. But always keep in our heads, lock it or lose it, whether it's related to cars or houses. We suggest a leaflet campaign and a media campaign was suggested, local life and stay in the loop, and a connect leaflet to flag these things up. So we're also promoting a neighbourhood watch scheme with their tenants, and the police are flagging up local boxes where people can post their problems with regard to suspicious behaviour, for example, and there is a reminder of the 101 number that you can contact, not the 9991 one, which is a life-threatening number, but the 101 police non-life-threatening number. If you observe something that looks suspicious, use that number and flag it up to the police. And I mentioned the police box system particularly in the parishes, where people can post their suspicious thoughts. Well, you know what I mean. There's also a Crime Stoppers number, which you can get from the police. Right, flag that up. When I wasn't there, the voting community, they have an aspect of safety, looking at safety along the canal, and the cycle routes, keeping an eye on what's happening along the canal, so we can use them for safety, flagging up safety. Alcohol. There is a problem everywhere, isn't there? Alcohol and substance abuse. I think we are fairly even or lower than a national average, but it needs to be kept. All these things need to be kept an eye on. We mustn't be complacent. There was an incident of theft in schools, particularly mobile phones, and the young people flagged up the lack of jobs. Part-time jobs and even voluntary situations that they could get involved in. Keep people occupied, and it makes them more involved in the community, and hopefully the community is a safer place. Last one, youth safety. Young people would like more lighting so that they feel safer in town. Victory Field and near the youth centre along the Footsmarrers path, and there is something being done about that. So lighting is on the agenda for that area. So young people, don't give up hope. Is there anything I've missed? Have I been quick enough?